Hi there, it's Adam again, and welcome back to the community of Narcissistic Abuse Survivors. Today's episode is dedicated to 7 red flags that you may be dating a narcissist. As I mentioned in my previous video, recognizing and detecting narcissists is a very difficult challenge for a person unfamiliar with this disease. What makes the detection of narcissism so challenging is the fact that narcissists have a unique yet inherent ability to hide themselves by creating and displaying a false self-image to the world. They believe in this false self-image and they want you to believe in the false self-image as well. In order to understand the concept behind the false self-image is for you to realize that narcissists are just empty shells filled with anxiety, insecurity, frustration, anger, and self-abuse. In order to counteract this, narcissists have to create a false self-image early on in their lives, which they will believe in and they'll want everyone else around them to believe in. They know something's wrong with them, so they create this false self-identity to make themselves feel better and make everyone more confident that they're normal human beings. And now, as you can imagine, for a healthy person, is this seeing through a narcissistic personality is extremely challenging because our brains are not wired to expect what a narcissist is and what a narcissist stands for. And I'll give you an example, just an illustration of a healthy person versus a narcissist. A healthy person like you and I, we're not only able to express our emotions, be tears, joy, happiness, grief, sadness, sometimes very complex emotions, but we also have those emotions within ourselves, and those emotions correspond to the circumstances and events in our lives. So they're appropriate for specific circumstances. To give an example, we may be in a park, the sun is shining, the grass is green, it's beautiful. Our hearts are filled with gratitude and happiness, and we may want to share these emotions, positive emotions, with people around us. A narcissist, on the other hand, masters the ability to express emotions and show emotions, but in fact doesn't have any emotions within themselves. They don't have any emotions whatsoever, but they know how to express emotions. Just to give you an example, again, a narcissist may cry at a funeral, but in fact there's no feeling within them. They feel absolutely nothing. There's zero, null, no entity. There's nothing. They feel nothing. But they know intellectually. They infiltrate through their lives different environments and people, so they intellectually understand how they should react to specific circumstances. So they learn how to react even though there's no stimulus within them to provoke those circumstances. So they intellectually learn what to do, but they really don't have anything within them. So that's challenging, and I think it's also challenging for a healthy human being to expect what the abuse that a narcissist is going to put you through, because we approach them from a very human perspective. We approach them with human nature as regular healthy human beings, but a response from narcissist is just not appropriate. It's abusive. It's very abusive. Anyways, coming back to our main topic, which is seven red flags that you may be dating a narcissist. The first one is control. Narcissists will want to control you and the surroundings and their lives completely and fully. Your experiences and feelings will be controlled. Your mind will be read. You will be told why you're feeling the way you're feeling. Your schedule will be planned with what a narcissist wants to do. And sometimes a narcissist may take into account your opinions and your desires, but it needs to be planned. It needs to be controlled. A narcissist always needs to dominate. Their environments, interestingly, will also be very heavily monitored and controlled. In my example, my narcissistic sociopath was OCD in some ways, in the sense that everything was spotlessly clean, and you had to abide by the rules, because if you did not, then you were in big, big trouble. So all of that will be controlled. And also remember, what's very tricky about this is sometimes narcissists may do things that appear as acts of empathy and compassion, such as visiting you at a hospital when you're sick. But they don't do it out of compassion, love, or care. They do it because they want to control the situation. They want to be in charge and in control. They want to dominate the situation. That's why they do it. They don't do it because they love you. Remember about this. The second interesting feature, which I've experienced and I've heard other people experience, is that narcissists in romantic relationships, they assume a role of a parent. And this is fascinating to me because narcissists are emotionally at the age of a toddler. Their emotional responses are those of a toddler, and they interact with other human beings as toddlers. They know they're not fully developed, and therefore, again, to counteract their own insecurities and anxieties, they want to be a parent in a relationship. And they'll do things that you would not believe happen in real life. They will start teaching you things, how to drink properly, how not to drink too loud, how to close the door, how to set the alarm at home, how to rake, how to drive a car. And also they'll do it not just to you or just directly to you, but they also be a parent to in front of other people. So let's say you and your narcissist and a family or friends of yours or your narcissist will go out to have dinner. Your narcissist will, in front of other people, tell you that you're eating not appropriately, that you should be holding a knife in a specific way. You will be humiliated in a way in front of other people. But fear not, I have faith that third parties, they see this and they will note it, they'll take a note of this, they'll see something's wrong. They may not tell you immediately, but eventually, once you realize you've been dealing with a narcissist and you talk to them, they'll tell you, hey, we've seen this before. So just pay attention to that. The third red flag is that after dating for a little bit, not very long, just maybe 3-4 dates, your narcissist will invoke your sympathy and empathy. They do it to hook you on, to give themselves an excuse of the abuse that's coming onto you. Typically, there's some very tearful story about their childhood, how they're abused by their parents, how they're manipulated, how they're deprived of love and care, and they'll make it very vague, so you believe this, but they'll never really give you the specifics and details. They'll just tell you, oh, I was so manipulated, I was so abused, nobody loved me, I worked so hard to be myself, and this and that. But the only reason to tell you this is to give themselves the benefit of the doubt and to make you love them more and care about them more. I mean, look, a healthy human being, upon hearing a very sad story about another human being, will feel sympathy, will feel the need and urge to be more loving and caring and kind. In my case, when I heard my narcissist story of not being loved and cared and abused as a kid, I felt that by giving more love and care and being more patient, I think patient is the real word here, my narcissist will be able to come around. But believe me, this never happens. Your narcissist is just setting up for failure and for the abuse, because you will be abused, but you will hold on to the hope that by giving more love and care and compassion and understanding, things will change. They'll never change. Trust me, they will never, ever change. Narcissists are incapable of changing. So if there's a tearful story, look, there are things that happen in lives. Somebody may be very heavily experienced, had cancer when they're kids or something like this, but just pay attention of how that's said. If that's used to defend their defense mechanisms or something else, just remember and pay attention how that's being communicated to you. The fourth red flag is that narcissists lack depth and empathy. And that's tied to the third red flag. Narcissists will not strike you as very deep and meaningful people, or not meaningful. I think by meaningful, I'm saying they'll not be able to have very meaningful and deep conversations, and they'll not be able to express themselves to you fully as human beings. They'll use their defense mechanisms and abuse as excuses why they're not able to be open to you and open with you. And I think they know they're shallow. I think they know there is nothing within them, but they use those excuses to just make you believe that, oh, there's something more, I'll just give them more time. But remember, you will feel that there's no depth from a person after some time. And you'll try working hard, you'll try seeing if there's something there, and if there's nothing there, most likely there's nothing there. Just trust your gut, move on. And the lack of empathy, I think this is also super interesting because narcissists will never feel apologetic. They'll never feel sorry for anything. They're always spotless. They're always ideal. There's nothing they do wrong. And this is very striking. Throughout my relationship with a narcissist, I've never heard a word of apology, even though there are multiple instances where I said, hey, I feel hurt, hey, I feel bad about this or that, and this is a specific action of yours that's doing this. I was always blamed. I was always told that this is because of me. This is very scary, and pay attention. If somebody's not willing to admit to mistakes and grow, that's a sign that there's something really deeply troubling and wrong with that person. The fifth red flag is the dissonance. And dissonance between how a narcissist interacts with you and who they are as a whole. Pay attention to this, because this will tell you there's something wrong with either how they're interacting with you or the big picture of the narcissist. So in my example, my narcissist was very aloof from people and very alone, I would say. But with me, my narcissist was love bombing me, was telling me how much I was loved and cared for, and how there's such a bright future in front of us. And I didn't pay attention to this because I was in love. I loved deeply. I was hooked on. I believed in the image that was presented with, and I ignored everything else. But pay attention to this. If a narcissist interacts with you in a way that's completely different from who a narcissist is, this is a big red flag. A big red flag. The sixth red flag, which I assume every narcissist has, is that they look very good. They take care of themselves physically, appearance-wise. They will spend hours taking care of their bodies, hair, skin. They'll apply multiple creams on their faces, both mornings and nights. They'll take pills so their hair doesn't gray very quickly or doesn't fall out. They'll wear very nice, shirts and dresses. They will look very, very nice. They really take care of themselves. But this is part of the false self-image. They're empty inside, and they want to also make sure that their appearance is pleasing and nice, so they appear as nice people. But this is not authentic. This is not who they are. The seventh feature, which I find absolutely fascinating after having experienced severe abuse from my narcissist for 3 years, is early on, narcissists will be able to tell you what they appreciate and love about you, be it you being authentic, you being kind, you being sociable, gregarious. Whatever those things are, pay attention. Narcissists are able to very quickly see who you are and all the good features in you, and pay attention what they tell you at first, because those are the things that they're jealous of, and those are the things that they want to have, And those are the things that they will use against you. They'll want to destroy within you. So at first, as you're dating, let's say for the first 5 to 10 months, they'll tell you how much they love that you're so authentic and so kind. And they'll fixate on your authenticity. They are so inspired by your authenticity. A year, 2 years down the line, they'll start telling you that that you're not authentic, that you're this, that you're that. They'll damage you. They'll damage all the good things that you stand for. You'll be confused because intellectually they'll be telling you you're so authentic, you're so genuine, but at the same time, they will be uprooting your authenticity by telling you all the things that you do wrong. But again, you need to remember, and we'll have a dedicated video to this, they start uprooting and devastating you, destroying you, but this is part of the psychological projection. They think that you're not authentic, but in fact, they are not authentic within themselves. But it's easier for them to blame you, the only available victim there, the only available person, than themselves. If they started, again, this ties back to this control issue and lack of empathy and lack of depth. They cannot blame themselves because they're spectacular, they're ideal, they're confident. If they start to blame themselves, the idea of false self-image would collapse, and they would collapse themselves as well. Anyways, those were the 7 red flags of the fact that you may be dating a narcissist. If you like this video, please like it. If you feel that this video may be useful for somebody else, please share it. Subscribe to this channel because a lot more very nice and useful and hopefully instructive videos are coming. And I have a lot of ideas. If you have any questions, please shoot them my way, either in the comment section or send an email to me. And thank you so much for today. Remember, love yourself first, take care of yourself, and be able to set the boundaries, healthy boundaries with the people. Don't fear rejection. If you're rejected because you set a healthy boundary, it's not you, it's them. So it's probably for the better. Anyways, love you all, take care, and see you soon.